Praise the Lord Jesus Christ, everybody. Chris Davis, MC Raymer, coming back to you with another Relationship 101 tip. Recently, I was in the process of purchasing a vehicle. And I kind of kicked it around, kind of what I wanted. And I found this one vehicle. I was coming back from out of town, stopped to look at it. And I looked at it at night. Everything on this vehicle looked immaculate. And so, I called the owner of the vehicle and I said, hey, look, let's make some arrangements. I can come this day, this time, bring the money, blah, 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 blah. So I go down to get the vehicle, but I went in the daytime. And just as I opened the door and went to step in, I noticed a spot of rust. But I didn't see that at night. So as I started inspecting the vehicle, the closer I looked, the more rust I found. To the point the frame of this vehicle was rusted out. And so I, had to tell the owner, I'm really, really sorry, but as much as I wanted the vehicle, as good as it looks on the outside, the interior looks like everything I really wanted, I realized the frame is messed up. Well, on the way back home, the Lord began to speak to me concerning before we get into a relationship. So many times we look at the outer frame, we look at the stuff we can see and we say, oh my God, this is the one. And so we get married or we make the purchase. And it's a lifelong commitment. Primarily because we never looked at the frame or their value system. We never looked at all the things, the undealt with issues in their life. And so there's some corrosion that's going on. And the problem is now that we purchased the vehicle, we got to deal with the corrosion. Now, the thing about corrosion is it can be dealt with, but it can be a lot of hard work. And you got to make a decision. Do you want to get a vehicle that won't even pass inspection because the frame is jacked up? Now, people, our frame or our heart or our thinking system can be changed. But we have to be willing to go to the shop. We have to be willing to have somebody grind on us to get all the corrosion off and then put a new coat. So you've got to ask yourself, before you get into a relationship with this person, with a lifelong commitment, are they willing to go to the shop? Are they willing to go back to God and get all the corrosion, all the things that this life has put on them off before you get married? Or do you want to make the purchase and buy a vehicle that won't even make it 20 miles up the road? So you got to think about that. Because see, once you say I do, that's a lifelong commitment. And I know, yeah, you could sell the vehicle, but who's going to buy it? Because if anybody looks at it and sees how jacked up it is, they're going to be like, I don't want that. Now you're stuck with it. So think about that. Like I said, on a vehicle, it was metal. It was corrosion. Yeah, you could go back in and re-weld it, repaint it, but the frame is still messed up. On a person, if their thinking system has been messed up, see if they're willing to go to the Lord. See if they're willing to go back to the Creator, the one who created them, to get that heart right, their thinking system, their belief system right and in alignment with God, the Creator. Or are you going to marry him anyway? Because the problem is, if you marry him anyway, you're going to get rusty too. Because if you ever seen a vehicle with rust, one part starts to rust and the corrosion from this causes corrosion on a piece of metal above it. So you got to think about it. Do you want to be corroded? Just a thought. So don't buy a vehicle that's corroded unless you really plan on taking the time to restore it. But trust me, if the person really loves you and they are committed to God, they'd be willing to go back to the shop with God and get the corrosion off. So when you get married, you have two things perfectly aligned, ready to do the will of God. This is MC Raymer. God bless you.